come on, dude. I was just really starting to like that guy. Why? Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Canine Cannibalism. Today, we are going to be doing a read and review of Off Season by Jack Ketchum. This book is the good shit. This book is original 1980 splatterpunk, original copyrighted in 1980. All right, this shit. I mean, Jack Ketchum, a fucking god of the game. You know, it's this is the good shit. Okay, I'm gonna say that right off the bat. This is the good shit. This book, 307 pages long, at least this copy. 21 pages of that is an included short story called The Winter Child, which connects this book, Off Season, to its sequel, Offspring. The book, Off Season itself, is 270 pages, and there's about 10 pages of author's notes, so an afterword to the book itself and a foreword to The Winter Child. We'll do a little blurb real quick. I don't know if I've done that in the past, but we're going to do it now. So, in case you don't know what the book's about, bunch of kids, college kids, I don't know, they're adults. I think they're like right out of college, like starting that area of their life, like mid-20s. They go up to a house in Maine, and a group family of cannibals, cannibalistic, incestuous hillbillies. I don't even know if hillbillies is the right term. Cave people, troglodytes, attack them, and they have to fight for their lives. Book is loosely based off of The Hills Have Eyes, from what I know, and then also heavily inspired by the Sawney Bean story, I believe is what it's called. The fucking old, I think it's Scotland it was. I could be completely wrong. I'll put an editor's note up if I'm completely fucking incorrect, but I think it was in Scotland, and there was a story that is reportedly true about a group of incestuous cannibals who lived in a cave and ate travelers. Now, is that story true? Who knows? But this book isn't, and the book is much better than the original story. So there you go. We're going to be doing a bunch of different things today. We're going to be, first and foremost, doing the most important thing, a trigger warning, an in-depth trigger warning. I will go through every single bad, or very, very bad, or slightly bad thing in this book that might trigger people, and I'll tell you about it. I know my last trigger warning was kind of lackluster. Again, I took a month off in between while reading that book, so my notes were a little bit handicapped by that. My notes are much better this time. I can be almost fully confident that I have everything that this book holds that is grody. Again, do a little more research. Don't just take some guy on the internet's blind word for it if you're very, very sensitive to a certain topic that appears often in extreme horror that I did not mention here, that could possibly be in the book that I didn't even think about or that I missed. Do some fucking research for the love of everything good in the world, or bad, if you like. I mean, not bad. The book's not bad. Whatever. Then we're going to be doing one of my favorites, the Fresh Thoughts section, where I read like half of the book and then I immediately review it after, give my fresh thoughts, as the fucking name would suggest. We're also going to be doing a spoilerless review, where I will talk about just my general feelings of the book, assuming I didn't mostly cover it in the second Fresh Thoughts section. I'll probably have a little more to say. And then we're also going to be doing a spoiler full review, in depth, all spoilers, plot synopsis, very, very brief. And then that's it. So without further ado, let's stroll right on into that trigger warning, shall we? So, you expected a cut there, didn't you? This book. The thing that originally got this book on the radar of a lot of people, and was criticized heavily. The gore, torture, mutilation, death, anything you can think of that draws blood or takes flesh from another human being, this book has it. The book is incredibly brutal. Its brutality and violence is extremely fast-paced, so much so that you'll read a paragraph of violence and you will lose track of how many bad things happen to different people. It is very well written, and it is very good, and I have not read anything up to this point that is as brutal and just shocking in the sense that it hits you in the face. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you if that stuff affects you. Don't read this kind of shit and don't read most modern horror, honestly. But yeah, on top of that, as the story blurb I gave suggests, there's cannibalism, a lot of cannibalism. There's also a lot of incest or hints to incest. No, well, no, there is on screen, on page incest. Um, yeah, so that stuff, not very good. Also, you got child abuse, mostly physical. There's some towing the line stuff with sexual child abuse. It's more that the kids don't understand sex beyond a means to reproduce, so they engage in behavior they shouldn't with each other. So if that stuff really affects you, I would be cautious, but it's not like a blatant part of the story or anything. What else? Oh, animal abuse. So off season has one scene, and then the Winter Child has one scene. Both are pretty graphic. The Winter Child is more of an after, like after the fact, but it's still pretty graphic, assuming you can read it and understand what happened, what is supposed to have happened. It's pretty brutal. The one in off season is on page. You see it. It's there. It's described in detail. It's very disturbing. Then we have sexual abuse. One scene near the end of the book. It's very disconnected. It's not described in detail, mostly because we are seeing it from the victim's perspective, and they are already very disconnected from reality in that moment. And then also during that same scene, you have a scene of genital mutilation. I'm sure you can guess as to what happens in the scene if you've read enough extreme horror. But yeah, that's it for our trigger warning. So I mean, I guess there's nothing left to do than just, slide right on over to that fresh thoughts section. Yeah, that's crazy. I guess I'll see you in a couple seconds. All right, everyone, it's fucking 3 a.m. I'm tired as shit. Let's get her done. I'm a little more than halfway through Off Season by Jack Ketchum, and I am very much enjoying myself. So, I got some thoughts, obviously, as the fucking name of the section, Fresh Thoughts, would imply. Jesus, Michael, get that through your thick fucking head. Fresh Thoughts section, not read and review. Fresh Thoughts. Okay. Flow, grammar, writing style, I very much enjoy all three of those things. So as for grammar, there's a lot of new words that I've never seen before. Not a shit ton, but like fun little adjectives that I've never heard of. Uh, that like tawdry. I'm sure some of you have definitely heard that word. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but I'm gonna be using that one in my spare time. Um, just fun expansions of the vocabulary. It's always nice when that happens. Flow is just incredible. I like the way that he uses, or Ketchum uses words to. I'm just describing writing. Um, Words good, make good sentence structure fun. Writing style, I very much appreciate. It's very nice. It's very unique to this author. I I can't really explain a writing style. It's very flowy, but also punctual. Like all of the words have a purpose in the sentence. It doesn't feel like he's padding for time or for page number, word count, whatever. Fuck. And then the other thing that I really want to touch on is the brutality in this book. So a lot of extreme horror, you got your Zola, your genital grinder. That shit is just gross out, and that's the case with a lot of extreme horror. Is just it's gross out content. In this, it's more brutality. It serves a purpose in this. It it's not just there to gross you out or to freak you the fuck out or to subvert your expectations. It feels like it serves a purpose, and it feels like the story would not be as good if the brutality was not included. Um, and on top of that, like the author makes me care about the characters. The author creates a story and a background for all of these people, and it's not like a fucking I don't know, the slob where yeah, you gave me a backstory, but I really don't give a fuck about this woman. Like I know you're just gonna torture and kill her. these people I actually care about somewhat, and I feel myself like actually like getting that old like suspenseful heart racing feeling during suspenseful scenes that I used to get when I was younger and reading horror. I actually like care about this book and the people in this book, and the author does not give a fuck. And uh, I mean, we'll talk about it during the spoilers, but I mean, like the author does not fucking care at all. He it just it's brutality. He just fucks the characters. That he has built up to be these like main characters and shit. He just fucks them, and I feel like that is good for the story. I feel like that is good for the type of story this is supposed to be. And obviously, a lot of these compliments are due to the fact that this is traditional splatterpunk. Like, I mean, Ketchum is an OG of splatterpunk. This is a like 1980 splatterpunk right here. Um, so I feel like a lot of original splatterpunk, at least coming like what I'm coming to find is it's more in tune with traditional horror. It's just the dial's cranked to 11, but everything still has a place and still feels purposeful, even if that purpose is, as the name splatterpunk would imply, it's just to go against the grain or fuck with the mainstream. But I appreciate it. I appreciate this work so far. It's very good, and I will talk to you in a second. Hello there, everyone. I am back. I have just finished Off Season by Jack Ketchum. Technically, I just finished The Winter Child, which is a short story included in the back of this copy of the book that connects off season to off spring. So I just finished that, which comes after a foreword to The Winter Child and an afterword to the book off season. And all I can say is wow. The book is extremely good. I enjoyed my time reading it. It is beautifully written. The grammar he uses is impeccable. The sentence structure is magnificent. The way the text flows is great. And the ending is extremely brutal and calloused. Um, and I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Because I'm not. But because I care about the characters in this book, as I said in the last Fresh Thoughts section, because I care about the characters in this book, I'm upset as a reader of this book, which, according to the afterword by Jack Ketchum, was the intent. The intent was to leave the reader without a sense of hope. And I would say he accomplished that. The ending was extremely brutal, but I feel it was deserved for the type of book this was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the book very, very much. I'm excited to read the sequel, Offspring, and then the sequel after that, The Woman, although I've heard The Woman isn't very good comparatively, or it's very different. But I'm excited. So if you want to see a review of those two, you might want to like and subscribe. That's all I'm saying. Book was great. That's all from me for now. Yeah. Wow, that was incredible. Did you see all those fresh thoughts spewing onto the screen in front of you? That's incredible. That's crazy. Okay, let's keep this short and concise, or at least try to. You just saw most of my fucking thoughts, right? Book was great, in my opinion. Book was incredible. I enjoyed a lot of the brutality. It helped the book achieve its goal. It helped Ketchum achieve his goal, according to his afterword. It was very good, and I liked it. And I would highly recommend it if you are getting into splatterpunk and extreme horror. It is a classic. It is like necessary reading. Um, yeah. So let's get into spoilers, huh? And let's do a plot synopsis. I think that'd be great. So, bunch of kids go up to a house that this woman Carla has rented. And the characters are Carla, her boy toy, Marjorie, her sister, Nick, her ex-lover, who also has an infatuation with her sister Marjorie, Marjorie's boyfriend Dan, and Nick's current girlfriend Laura. I do not remember Carla's boy toy's name. I just know that's who he is, and he's the first to die. They are in the cabin, and this incestuous, cannibalistic, hillbilly, troglodyte family is stalking them, breaks in, kills the boy toy, and we've been following Carla this entire time, and then they gut her like a pig. And then we start following Dan as our main character, and the characters rush and they fight and they board up the house and they try to escape. And then Dan gets eaten alive and taken down like a horse by a pack of wolves. They cut his tendons and rip at his skin with their teeth. Then we start following Nick and Marjorie. Laura's been catatonic this entire time, and they're desperately trying to survive. Everyone else is dead. They leave Laura behind as the family breaks into the house. They run upstairs to the attic. They try to escape. Marjorie gets captured. The cannibals, oh, they're not hungry anymore. They ate Dan and Carla. So they're not hungry. They take Laura and Marjorie captive back to their cave. What else? Nick stays on the roof. He has a gun that they got from a car that the boy toy brought, and he chases them, the hillbillies, the troglodytes, back to the cave, and he fights them. Laura dies before he gets there. She is brutalized and gets her limbs chopped off, and she's no longer catatonic, and awful things happen to her body, and then she's dead. Nick gets there, fights them. Marjorie tries to escape, and the children start eating her alive. There's a lot of children, by the way. Most of the troglodytes are children. They start eating her alive. Nick wins the battle. A bunch of them run away, and the cops are there. Because the cops saw smoke, and they've been out looking after some bad things have happened in the past, and they break into the cave after one of their own dies to the rest of the troglodytes that escaped the cave, and they blow Nick's head off. And then the book ends, and Marjorie's still alive. Yeah, it's a lot. And that is very bare minimum. That's all the brutal shit, really. The book is much more in depth than that. Again, I would highly recommend you read it. So, let's do some more in-depth thoughts, shall we? I understand why Nick died. I understand why Nick had to die. I understand Ketchum's afterward. It does not change the fact that it is upsetting. So in that, Ketchum absolutely succeeded with what he wanted to do. I really have no complaints with the book. Honestly, it is well paced. The brutality is necessary, seemingly, at least, according to my opinion. And it tells a good story. It tells a fun story to read that quickly turns into a not so fun story to read, but it's never a chore. And it's and you realize early on, because Carla is our main character, and then they gut her. They slit her from the top of her body down to her throat, and she's dead. And then we follow Dan, and then they murder him like a pack animal, like a bunch of pack animals taking down a cow or a horse. And then we follow Nick, and he gets his part of his body blown off by a cop's shotgun right at the end, right after fighting through hell. This cop blows him apart, and the cop's only trying to help, and it leaves you with a profound sense of hopelessness. And I understand, and it is upsetting, and it is good. It is very good. I'm very pleased with how I felt reading this book. I'm very pleased with the emotion that the book made me elicit. I'm very pleased with how the book made me care about its characters and its story. Ketchum succeeded. Ketchum very much succeeded. I really have nothing else to say to you, honestly. Buy the book, read the book. I will leave a link in the description. I'm going to start doing that from now on. And that is my thoughts. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Winter Child. Sorry. Winter Child was also pretty good. It was supposed to be in another one of his books, his fourth book. I don't remember what the name was. She Wakes or something. Whatever. It was supposed to be included in that as a backstory to one of the characters that loosely ties in off season to that universe in the fourth book that he wrote. It's decent. I understand his reasoning for not putting it in the other book, especially considering it was supposed to be mostly supernatural, and that one is more oriented towards this. The story is very not as disturbing. I don't even know if it would be considered extreme horror. There's no on-page violence. There's very weird scenes involving the little cannibal girl that shows up at this kid's and father's house. But it ties in to the book, and I feel that it's going to be helpful to have read it before reading the second book. Just a little like knowledge beforehand. Um, it wasn't as good as the book itself, but I mean, there's only so much you can do in 21 pages that was supposed to connect to a different book that is what multiple years old, like a decade old before it was published with this book right here. So for what it was good. Um, the afterword was very interesting, and so was the foreword to Winter Child. If you're very into Jack Ketchum and into his work, and you need some more stuff about his writing journey and how off season came to be and why so much was cut, I would recommend buying this, if for no other reason than for having a copy of that afterward and the foreword to Winter Child. And yeah, um, that's it for the book. Thank you for watching very much, actually. Please consider liking and subscribing. I would love it so much. If you dislike the video, please dislike the video. It gives me feedback, but don't just dislike it and then vanish into the cyberspace. I know that's so easy to do. Just write a comment. Be like, hey, bro, your voice sucks shit. And also, what's with the fucking... I don't even know. I don't even know what this get up is. What's with the fucking shadow person get up, huh? Just say that. Tell me. I want to know. I want the feedback. Nothing. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. You don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. As always, remember, I'm a guy on the internet. Most of this is my opinions. The trigger warning, that's not my opinions. That's in the book. But my opinions of the book are my opinions. Read the book. Highly recommend you read the book. Form your own opinions. Always great. Again, nothing towards Jack Ketchum. I mean, nothing towards Jack Ketchum in general. I didn't think I even criticized the book a single time. I don't really have anything to criticize. So, like, this book is immaculate. Like, it's very good. If you're not into this type of horror, it probably won't be for you. But the book's very good. What else? Anything else? Not that I can think of. Stay tuned. More videos coming. I'm going to be, as I said, I think twice now, I'm going to be reviewing the sequel to this book and then the sequel to that sequel. I got more books lined up. We're going to have so much fun, and it's going to be great. If you drop a comment, I'll respond to you. And yeah, have a good day, night, evening, whatever the fuck. Yeah. And remember, folks, if your season is off, then don't wait, don't delay, don't waste time because time is money. You, yes, you, and only you, I see you back there, you need to get on that cannibalistic incest core grind set right away. Have a good day.